Hey everyone. All right, so we're here to talk about Alice in the Four Realms. Man. All right, well the movie got out and I looked at you and went, well, that was pretty much what I thought it was going to be. And
Yep.
then when we posed for the thumbnail for the live review, just kind of went, yeah, pretty much. And there's
There was
soldiers
someone
chasing
running
us.
along behind the car.
Yeah.
It wasn't as bad as Alice in Wonderland.
Right.
And like you were saying, it wasn't as bad as...
It wasn't as bad as Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah.
But
So it's got that going for it. I was still bored to tears.
I know, you know what? That's the thing. Alice in Wonderland, Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland was memorably bad. Wrinkle in Time was memorably bad. This is kind of more akin to Alice Through the Looking Glass.
Mm-hmm.
It's just...
It was very pretty.
It is that. I'll give it that.
Unbelievably pretty. And you're right, Keira Knightley's baby voice is annoying. So it's got like little annoyances to kind of get you through. But like I was checking my clock more than once because there's a bit in the middle where she's got to like figure something out. It's taking her a while.
Yeah.
And like
Oh,
nothing
man.
is like the plot's just sitting and waiting her to figure some stuff out.
It's one of those
So
movies.
are the rest of us.
Man, it's one of those movies where a sentence of communication will solve all of this bullshit.
Oh yeah.
Maybe that's why the movie's only 90 minutes. I never checked my clock during this movie because I mean, look, the last movie I saw was London Fields, and this is way fucking better than that. And that movie was 2 hours, so I was like, I went into this knowing it was only about 99 minutes long, and was like, okay, well, it's short, whatever. And what I'll say about Keira Knightley in this film, she didn't so much annoy me too bad, and
I was
No,
gonna say she seemed really fake in the first half of the movie.
yeah.
But then there was a reason for that, it turned out.
That's why I didn't mind her so much, because once it makes that turn with her character, that to me separated her from like Reese Witherspoon in Wrinkle in Time or Anne Hathaway in the Alice movies, where those it's like, what are you doing? Whereas in this, okay,
I see what
she's
you're doing.
crazy. All right, fine. At least there's kind of a reason for that here. Especially when you have sequences in which they create the toy soldiers that are these horrific monstrosities that look like...
There are moments of sheer terror in this movie that I did not anticipate.
Yeah, I know, man. Like, these toy soldiers in this movie look like the CG equivalent of like Andy Kaufman in Heartbeeps.
Yeah.
So when they create these uncanny valley looking
Like,
toy
it turns
soldiers,
its head towards the camera, and it's got these just dead, glazed over eyes.
and then it cuts to Keira Knightley like, hello boys.
I'm gonna have sex with all of these.
What? The hell kind of Nutcracker is this movie? I think I've seen this version. I think I've reviewed this version. Yeah, man. So
Hollow on the inside, the perfect soldier.
Man, so when it was, they are much bigger. That's a line from the movie. That's not me being a smartass.
Nope.
So when it was the creepy, terrifying Nutcrackers, the
creepy, terrifying clown babies.
the clown babies, and
Clown babies inside of clown babies.
the Mouse King, which is this walking monster made up of...
he was like a Rat King, Mouse King. Where it's
Yeah.
just like this writhing pile of mice. Vaguely simulating the shape of a giant mouse.
Yeah.
Just like swarming over. It was gross. It was like legitimately gross.
It made me think a couple of things. There are going to be people who go see this that are going to get terrified of this movie.
Yeah, this movie's going to give some babies some nightmares.
And also, I wish this were a horror film. It would be right at home as a fucking horror film
Like
with how
American McGee's.
Yeah, like how these creatures and shit look in this, as opposed to this Alice knockoff that it's trying to be. And that's kind of where I come down on this movie. Like, it's just not that interesting of a movie. There's some interesting imagery in it, sure. I mean, there were in both Tim Burton Alice in Wonderland movies. But this movie just feels like it's cynically trying to cash in on that and not really doing anything of its own necessarily. Like, at least as bad as Wrinkle in Time was and as annoying as that movie was, I think that it was trying to have some genuine moments in it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this just seems like they just are making this movie with dollar signs in their eyes.
Yeah, the most interesting parts of this movie were all of a sudden it was just like doing harkens. I don't know doing harkens to Fantasia.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Where they'd light up a spotlight and all of a sudden it's the conductor guy with all the with like the
Mm-hmm.
the steps of musicians and with the reflections in the background.
Yeah.
And I also it's kind of an off thought, but there's a scene where it's like, okay, children, go get your presents, and there's a central pole with all like cords coming out from them, and each cord has like a person's name on it. And you have to like chase the cord to go get your present. I'm thinking I'm gonna do that next year. Like,
oh, nice.
Like it's like a cord. This is David. Like goes out the window and down the street. He's like, my present was in a tree. What are you doing?
Yeah, your present was an apple. I didn't feel like picking it.
It like takes him to the store and like over to now buy yourself a present.
Ooh, a box of oops, all berries. How did you know? Well, you kept picking your Captain Crunch out of your bowl of berries. I just kind of figured. Yeah, I mean, when it was actually doing the ballet, which is 5 minutes of this movie, and even when it was halfway into it, where it's the conductor from Fantasia, and the pageant. Like, okay, it's like, all right, I finally get to see some music and some dancing from the Nutcracker, which is only like 5 minutes of this movie, and there are characters talking through it. It keeps cutting to exposition.
It's fucking Keira Knightley with like her tiny little flute voice.
This is why this is happening. I know. Stop it.
Watching someone who's good at dancing do like a little dance, you know.
Me too, because
that ballet dancer was like technically excellent.
Oh yeah, it was, and we both really enjoyed the ending credits.
Yeah,
which was ballet dancing.
Best part of this movie.
It was the ending credits when it was the Nutcracker and not Alice in Wonderland. Yeah, and but the costume design is excellent because
they're at least gonna get nominated.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if it wins, honestly, because that's another thing about this movie. Yeah, it is impressive, but there's something really, I don't
like wink.
Sort of like in a way that's like, look, we know what we're doing here. We're trying to kind of we want another Alice in Wonderland on our hands with this movie, and so at the very, very least, we can at least get an Oscar for costume design.
Did Alice win an Oscar for costume design?
That I don't know. I don't know if it did or not.
It did.
But in terms of this, it just sort of felt like that's
the sort of bullshit they like, because it's like it's intricate and it's period.
Yeah, so there was something really cynical about it.
Yeah.
As pretty as it was. And half of it looks like they should be working for Mr. Freeze from Batman and Robin. And it's a movie that there's so much like CG splooge on screen that it's simultaneously trying to feel epic but feels so small because of most of it's
just in rooms.
Yeah, most of it's when it's live action, it's certainly just in rooms and close-ups, and then everything else. Like, hell, you could watch the first minute of this movie and not know it's a live action film, because it starts out looking like, I don't know, like Robert Zemeckis' A Christmas Carol, or like it starts out looking like an Illumination film. Like, oh, are they accidentally showing us a preview of The Grinch?
When they're going through the Rube Goldbergian.
Well, before then, but the opening minute where it was like going through the town and everything, and like the scene in Sweeney Todd.
Oh, right.
Except I love it in that movie.
Fast, I'm getting dizzy.
So I was mostly bored during this movie because I don't know, it just felt like such a product and not a very good one. Like, it was a lot of stuff I'd seen before where she's got problems in her real life and then goes to this magical world where everything is solved. She comes back. It really does feel like the third part of like the Alice movies we went to go see.
It feels like if you're at a family Christmas or holiday get together, and you're
Uh-huh.
trying to decide what to put on, you can't decide.
Yeah.
This is the movie you'd end up putting on because everyone will be fine with it.
Yeah.
And also, you don't have to pay attention too much.
You don't, because I was
And
drifting
the kids
in and
will
out.
like it. It's
Sure.
got music and dancing.
But not enough for a Nutcracker movie. Not nearly enough.
There
It's
wasn't
like
enough Nutcracker music.
right. Like I would honestly rather watch most other versions of the Nutcracker than this. Even that weird 3D one that was Holocausty. Oh, that movie exists. Remember the Macaulay Culkin one too from back in the
No.
night? You don't remember that one from the 90s? The Macaulay Culkin ballet movie.
Remember Jonathan Taylor Thomas was Pinocchio?
Oh yeah, I
It's
remember
almost
that.
the same thing.
Totally the same thing. Kinda. No, so this I was sitting there through it just thinking like that it was harmless. Like I wasn't enjoying it. I was mostly bored, but it wasn't annoying me as much as Wrinkle in Time or
I was livid during Wrinkle in Time. But I gave a shit about the book. This I was mostly just wishing I could play with my phone.
I know, right? It was one of those movies. Like I'm
if I
not
could be
mad
playing
at this.
Gardenscapes like right here, then I'd be fine.
A couple things would have made me enjoy this more. And one of them being if the Morgan Freeman character, who, you know, when she's at the party with her dad before she goes off into Narnia, it was when she finds Morgan Freeman, who's like, well, this does this and blah blah.
That's
if-
a solid Freeman, my
I'm
friend.
not even trying. Like,
I was on board. It was subdued, and I think that was what's good about it.
when I don't actually remember the lines, nor have I don't think I've even ever attempted to do a Morgan Freeman leave that to Josh Robert Thompson.
Well, Shawshank Redemption. That's all I got.
Like that was Andy Dufresne's nickname.
It was. But you gotta say the name of the movie at least at one point
Yeah.
in the movie. So there's that one weird scene where Morgan Freeman was just musing Shawshank Redemption to himself.
Well, I know he said the title Seven several times in that movie.
Seven. We did a good job.
If his character in this movie was played by the same character that Christopher Walken played in either Click or Nine Lives.
Or Joe Dirt.
Yeah, either one of those. The trilogy of Christopher Walken being the mystical figure who explains things to our hero and possibly maybe turns him into a cat.
Secretly is in the mafia.
Yeah, it's definitely in the mafia. If it was that, or okay, this is kind of a spoiler.
Okay, bro.
So,
Prepare to have the Nutcracker
When
spoiled.
when Keira Knightley gets zapped at the end with a giant ray gun that turns people into like porcelain dolls, when that happens to her at the end of the movie, when she's zapped, like no, and zapped turns into porcelain doll, and then it falls on the floor. Because there is that shot where it's a close up on the doll just like laying on the floor. It was just our hero Clara's foot coming into the shot.
I like that. I'm gonna give you one too because this is kind of what I was sitting through the movie hoping was gonna happen. So to set the scene, she's got her father and then her brother and her sister. Her father's kind of like, you know, pompously,
Yeah.
like trying to like stiff up her lip and all that and trying to like keep up appearances. What if the reason he's so stuck up is because when her mother went back into the realm for the first time, she also met a Nutcracker, and like Moriarty in the holodeck figured out how to get him out and into the real world, married him, had his half Nutcracker babies, and that was Clara and her siblings.
Yes. So many things could have made this movie at the least more memorable. Oh man.
Which okay,
Any
I'm
of those
sorry.
things.
There's a plot hole that bugged me in this movie.
Yeah.
So there's a machine that brings the toys to life, right?
Yeah.
And the Sugar Plum Fairy is using it to bring tin soldiers to life.
Yeah.
And they're following her instructions because she's the one who brought them to life.
Mm-hmm.
But then when she dies, or gets turned back into a figurine, all the things that she brought to life with the machine ceased to function.
Yeah.
Mostly so that it wouldn't stab her Nutcracker boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
But if that's how the machine works, then they'd all be dead because Claire's mom died.
Yeah. Yeah. I get. I guess they were going
That's
for
where
like,
they lost me.
I guess maybe they were going for like a hive mind kind of plot line. Like, you know, whenever you see those dragon movies or like, we need to kill the mother dragon, then they will all die.
Like the werewolves.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, hog, hog.
We must kill the head vampire. Then they'll all cease to exist.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, all right, well, I think it's kind of doing that again. I don't know. I could be wrong because I was only 60% paying attention during this movie. But you actually reminded me of one thing, though, because I think it was around that part of the movie, or at least the climax, where I was thinking to myself, you know what movie I would rather watch than this film? Toys.
Yeah, fucking A right, Toys. Toys
Yeah.
has all the elements that were exciting about this movie.
Yeah.
A bunch of creepiness, heavy-handed metaphors, colors, bright
Yeah.
colors, musical numbers,
Mhm.
and all the things this movie didn't. Robin
Yeah.
Williams.
Robin Williams, yeah.
Robin Wright Penn.
And also scope. Like, because this movie is an epic, but it's mostly just like, all right, you're looking at like just CG cut scenes here to make it sort of feel like it has scope and epic, and I'm just not really that impressed by that, honestly. At least when the movie's not very good.
Toys was better
and
Christmassy.
yeah, Toys was more Christmassy. It
Toys
had bigger
a
scope
sex
than
scene,
this.
A super creepy
Yeah.
sex scene that people were watching them do it.
Yeah. It's a way better movie than this. It has more imagination. It has more ambition. It's less cynical. This movie...
LL Cool J in a couch costume.
Yeah, this movie just has box office in its eyes and the possibility of winning an Oscar for costume design. That's really it just feels like that's all that's going through this movie's head. Whereas a movie like Toys has actual like fucking passion behind it. No, yeah, that's a great fucking movie.
It has Yardley Smith.
Yeah.
It has Gandalf.
Oh, Ian McKellen?
No, it's not Ian McKellen. It's the other Gandalf. Help me out, you guys.
Gandalf.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm an idiot. I'm tired. I'm fucking tired. Yeah.
Wait, no, because Gandalf was Ian McKellen. Am I thinking of Dumbledore? Yeah, it had Dumbledore.
Oh, Michael Gambon?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He was the
All
daddy.
right. Yeah. Man, I'm turning into that shirt that says, that's a picture of Patrick Stewart, and it says, you're a wizard, Gandalf, or something like that.
I've
or
always been
whatever
that
it is.
shirt.
Yeah.
It's not because I'm not trying. It's because my brain's made a mush.
Seeing so many of these movies has turned that
Thank
into
you, Michael
me.
Gambon.
Michael Gambon, yeah. Yeah, that's the movie that I want to watch other than this film.
So come with us. We're going to go watch Toys.
Yeah, exactly.
Tune in about an hour and a half.
I don't know, man. Like, maybe kids will like this movie,
Oh, I'm sure they will. It's
Possibly.
very, very pretty.
but
It's got pretty dresses, so like the kind of kid who likes pretty dresses is going to be
yeah.
voted for choice.
But the movie is just it's just kind of a non-entity for me, honestly. Like, it exists. I didn't like it that much. I was mostly bored, but I wasn't mad at it, and I was kind of just feeling like it's harmless, whatever.
We forgot to even mention it's got Eugenio Derbez in it.
Oh yeah, so okay.
In like a flower outfit.
The first half hour of this movie, I'm sitting there, actually, for practically all of this movie, I was sitting there just sort of like this, just kind of resting my hand, rubbing my eyes like this, and then I see this Poison Ivy looking character walk on screen, and I'm like, wait a minute, and I recognize those eyes, and I kind of just perked up a little bit, and I'm like, Hernandez, you son of a bitch! From fucking Geostorm. And I'm like, I was like, I looked at you and went like, is that Eugenio Derbez? You're like, yep. And I'm like, oh, thank God.
He's one of my guys now. I recognize him immediately. He
Yeah.
has a bunch of flowers taped to his eyebrows.
Maybe some life in this movie. And he's barely in it. He's barely in this film.
Someone was wanting to know what our favorite realm was in this movie, and I think definitely the Eugenio Derbez realm, sight
Yeah.
unseen.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and when they were in the factory from Heart Beeps.
Yep.
Absolutely. Another movie I'd rather watch than this film. But hey, at least it was only 90-some minutes long. This, those assholes could have made this like 2 hours and 15 minutes if
I
they
was
wanted
expecting
to.
it to be, man, because Alice in Wonderland, I feel, was like 13 hours long.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, especially if you watch them both back to back. It's way longer. It's at least 30 hours.
But at least you get a fudder wagon right at the middle.
Oh. I know. The one movie I wanted dancing. There was very little of it in this movie.
There was not nearly enough butter whacking in the Four Realms movie.
I would have forgiven this movie if Eugenio Derbez did the futter whacking.
Yes. Maybe it's in the director's cut.
Oh god, a director's cut of this fucking thing.
You want credits or previews?
Yeah. Cut to credits.
You want credits on your in your video, Brad?
Selfie first.
No, I set it to open with my eyeballs, and so
Yeah.
it always looks like I'm like, what? A Dog's Way Home.
Man, okay, you don't need to go see this movie.
We just
because
basically watched it
the
already.
trailer for this movie, which by the way feels like a spin-off of A Dog's Purpose.
It's like a spin-off of Homeward Bound.
Yeah, it's a January dog movie. Where just watch the trailer. It's the whole fucking movie. It is everything that is every important plot point that's going to happen in that movie
Like,
is
we literally
in.
started the dog puppy.
Yeah,
Watch it grow up. Watch it get lost. Watch it run around, and then watch it find its person.
the trailer shows the dog finding home at the end of the trailer, and it's one of those annoying dog voices in it too, where it's like, oh, another snack for me. Oh boy, it's a steak.
I love
even
a tiny
better.
piece of cheese.
Yeah, tiny piece of cheese. Like, he should sound like this.
All dogs should sound like the way Brad thinks my dog sounds.
Like that, or sounding like a chain smoker, or sounding, what are some other dog, like Tequila and Benetti, or
Stone Cold Bee.
have Danny DeVito do a dog voice in this. Maybe it'll be better than Look Who's Talking Now. I could sure go for some poop. That's what I want the dog in this to sound like.
The kid who would be king.
Oh yeah, gritty kid in King Arthur's court. Is that something that's like out already in other countries, like Paddington 2 was, where it like, because it's coming here in January, which so did Paddington 2. So I'm like, is this another situation where
Maybe.
this is actually out in Europe before it is here? And
Seems
if so,
awfully
is it any
British.
good?
Someone says, nope.
Nope, it's not good.
Nope, it's very bad.
Right, yeah, that looks, I don't know, like it might be okay.
Yeah, that kid looks pretty charismatic, and he seems like he's doing a good job. It's just the premise is kind of silly and boring.
Yeah, where he gets Excalibur in modern times.
And Morgana's gonna come back from the dead in like 5 days, just long enough to get like a ragtag group of knights together and learn how to knight it up.
It's funny when they create a round table and have to lift up the edges of the
Yeah,
table.
they have to lift up the leaves.
Oh wait, hang on.
There it
Perfect.
is. Instant Family.
Oh, that looks like it's an Adam Sandler movie, but with Wahlberg as the Adam Sandler character, which means it looks better than an Adam Sandler movie. Like it's even got What Is Life playing in the trailer. Like, why'd you show me this picture? Now we have to adopt them. Alright. I don't know, it looks fine. It looks harmless.
I was watching OPCD on YouTube the other day, and he was talking about Stuart Little and how like what a bummer it must be to watch that movie as an adopted kid, because it's like a family goes into an orphanage. Fully
Against the mouse
intending to like adopt an actual human child, and they adopt a mouse instead, and all the kids have to like watch them walk out with a mouse.
Yes, but having seen this Nutcracker movie, the mouse was one of the most likable characters. So maybe I can sort of see.
But my general point is that
I see what you mean,
there's
yeah.
not very many movies that adopted kids can watch that aren't like shitty.
Where
like
they're
that.
adopting an animal instead.
Aren't them adopting a mouse instead?
Yeah,
So maybe it'll be good. I hope it's good.
that kid over there, yeah, he looks like he needs a home, but man, that dog's
That mouse
giving
is wearing a little sweater.
giving me puppy dog eyes.
I bet he rides a skateboard.
That is a good point. I never thought about that. So yeah, at least they're not adopting.
They're not adopting a mouse.
Or like Phoebe and Mike did on Friends, like we're rat people now. That's our box of rats. We have rat babies.
I forgot about that. I haven't watched the latter episodes very much, which is a shame because Mike and Phoebe was the most goddamn adorable couple on that TV show. Like, Chandler and Monica are my guys, but they can be singularly annoying at times. Mike and Phoebe were always adorable.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, The Grinch.
Still looks like the Grinch.
I wish this movie would just fucking come out already.
That is what I say about every fucking Illumination movie. I'm tired of seeing their trailers. Just fucking get here
But
already.
we've seen this for like 2 Christmases at
Oh
this
yeah.
point.
Yeah, yes we have. That's Illumination for you.
It's just him like eating a pickle and barfing the pickle back into the pickle jar.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again.
Whoop. With that awful new Grinch song in the trailer.
Look, I like Benedict Cumberbatch, but there was no reason to have him do the voice of the Grinch.
I'm fine with him doing the voice of the Grinch, just not the voice he's doing in this.
It's like, wah.
Yeah, like if it was
It's
like
me, the Grinch.
if it was like con Benedict Cumberbatch or Smaug, like okay, sure, that might be kind of scary, but this thing he's doing in this, like,
It's the loudest snow.
Mm-hmm.
I should complain. Ralph breaks the Crimes of Grindelwald.
That was a new trailer for that too. I didn't see. Speaking of movies that need to get here already,
I've seen this trailer before already.
You
'cause
have?
This is the one where it's like, oh my god, the lady's Nagini.
oh,
The snake
maybe
from the
I
other
did-
movies.
Oh, okay.
We've had this conversation before.
Well, no, I remember that from other trailers. And you know what? Maybe this is the same, but I remember that from other trailers we've gotten. But I don't remember the other trailers we've gotten opening with that scene of Dumbledore and Eddie Redmayne in
Newt.
that Newt, yeah, in
Where
wherever
Dumbledore's
they're-
like, I
were
need
at
you
the
to go
beginning of
find
it.
Grindelwald and put
Yeah.
him in jail. And Eddie Redmayne's like, why? Won't you do it, Dumbledore? And Dumbledore's like, because I'm in love with him.
Exactly. No, it looks.
It looks
fine.
exactly the same.
Yeah, it looks like it's the same
I'm
as
only
other
excited
trailers.
because of what's his face with the mustache.
Oh yeah, Dan Fogler. Same
Yes.
here. It's the only reason I'm looking forward to this. Crap.
Ralph
Even
breaks
the
the
lights
internet.
checked out. Yeah, I don't know.
This looked better than the first one did to me, because the first one didn't appeal to me at all, previews-wise, but this one seemed cute.
The first movie?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you never saw the first movie, did you? Oh man, I don't know. For me, because like the first one I thought was okay, but then my least favorite character in the first one was the Sarah Silverman character and all
Princess
the
Honey Sparkles or whatever.
yeah, and all the sugar rush shit. And the first movie just kind of became about that.
Uh-huh.
And this one looks like it's doing exactly the same thing. I don't know. Maybe she'll be less annoying to me in this one.
Yeah, I think maybe that's part of the appeal for me for this one from this preview is she seemed less annoying. She seemed more like an actual character where she lost
Yeah.
her little game and Ralph was trying to get her her game reinstated, but she found like a new hardcore racing game that she excelled at. and
That
she's
looks
trying to
kinda
figure
funny.
out- Yeah.
When it's in the darker racing game like
Yes.
that might be kind of funny.
Like playing that clown racing game, the name of which escapes me.
Yeah, I mean, it, like Twisted Metal or something.
Yeah, is that the one with the clown in it?
Yeah, I think so. I have to remember back. I remember being very high every time I would play that game. Me and
That's the way you're
Dave.
supposed to do it.
It is.
I've never been good at those games. That must have been the reason.
At the very least, this will be better than the Emoji Movie. Which there are similar
I mean,
things
it'd
about
have
both
to be.
movies. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it will be.
And then Aladdin,
Oh
which
yeah.
we didn't pick up on what it was supposed to be for like
Until.
a while in the preview, and it was like blah 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 blah.
Yeah, until the music started playing. When I first heard of them doing this movie, I thought they were doing a movie that was from like the genie's point of view, and that it was going to be called Genie.
Uh-huh.
But this, and I know it's just a teaser. It's just called Aladdin, and it's just a teaser trailer. I don't know. I just hope it's not another one of those situations where it's just the same movie again. Only I think Will Smith is playing the genie. Or at least at one point he was attached to playing the genie.
Considering how many scenes of the original cartoon are just Robin Williams riffing, I can't imagine they'd be able to accomplish that if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So they've got to be changing up some stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, like with Beauty and the Beast, I was fine with the amount that they changed it, where they added some depth to the plot with her dad.
Sure. Oh yeah, I didn't like that movie, but I liked the Kevin Kline stuff in the movie. Like
So
that
just-
stuff I like.
Maybe they'll bring like Aladdin's hot dad from the third
That is
one.
also Kevin Kline.
Yes. Oh no, they'd have to brown him up a little bit, and I don't know how well that would work out.
Yeah, right.
He shows up with just like 5 layers of fake tan, and the whole audience as one goes, "Oh no!"
And then
we were having so much fun. This all in unison, the entirety of the audience.
And then we review it, and we have to say, Kevin Kline was still the best part of this movie.
He's always the best part of any movie he's in.
Oh my god. Yeah, please do that.
Please don't do that.
Well, that comes out. This is a teaser, so this movie probably comes out in 3 years. There's a couple other movies this weekend. Irving and I think, are seeing Bohemian Rhapsody tomorrow, and
I heard some unfortunate things.
yeah, I'm kind of staying away from certain reviews.
Okay, then I won't
just
go into
know, like,
detail, but I'll be interested to see how you like it.
yeah, I've seen it's kind of, the movie's kind of mixed apparently, but that, I think we're seeing that tomorrow, and there's a new Tyler Perry movie out this weekend too, which is
No, it must be your birthday.
I know, yeah. Yeah, right? I said to you earlier, I'm like, 2 Tyler Perry movies in 1 year. Thank you, 2018.
I think you're the first person to ever say that.
To say thank you, 2018.
Yep.
And it's coming from me, so it's for a stupid ass reason.
So it's for a Tyler Perry movie.
Yes. 2018's coming up, Brad. All right, everyone. Take care.
Bye.